The programming with YouTube's a little odd, so this is the only one. For some reason it says I might be live on the other one, but I'm not, so yeah. I am totally safe. Alice, thank you for asking. Yeah, no, I wear my mask and shit when I go out, and it's not too crazy here. I think we have 16 cases in town. 2 people died so far, so. But, yeah. What's up, Michael Bottomley? Appreciate you dropping in. So, we're going to start this stream as family friendly, and then we will actually listen to a chapter from an audiobook that I narrated a few years ago, and it's called Dance in the Dark, and it's an erotic horror, and essentially the chapter we'll listen to later is going to be the sex scene between me and Eden. So I thought that was pretty funny. I was listening to it again last night, and definitely not kid-friendly. And I talk about my cock a lot because it's an erotic horror, but yeah, it was fun. For those that don't know, it was written by Chris Allen and Melody Ann. Melody Ann's a New York Times bestseller. They had reached out a while ago, had a bunch of us narrators do portions, and then they chose who they wanted to do the book. And I ended up doing it. It's like 3 hours, a little over 3 hours long, but we're not listening to all of that. I have permission to do like a chapter, as long as it doesn't ruin the book, so yeah, we'll do that later. It's funny as fuck. Man, it was so hard to record it without laughing my ass off, and then I was the one adding, Eden's voice in there, and I'm just laughing even harder. And they wanted me to do sound effects, and there was one part where it's talking about like bending her over the sink, and her tits in the dishwater or something like that, and I wanted to add like the sound effect that where it's just like nipples smacking water type of thing, but I didn't because I figured that would be a little overboard, but it was funny as shit. But there's a story that was submitted on Let's Not Meet a couple days ago. It looks like it's pretty popular, so I'm gonna read that. This stream you will not be able to watch it later. You're not gonna be able to do any of that, so just so you know, this is just gonna be if you see it, you see it. I'll probably put a link for my patrons and channel members, but as for everyone else, this is just gonna be a special holiday. And we'll probably end it with something stupid and random that I already plan on doing, but it'll be funny as fuck too. So, I do appreciate you dropping in. I hope everyone's having a wonderful weekend, well, the best you can given the current circumstances. So, we will go ahead and get into this story. This one is, like I said, it was submitted 18 hours ago on Let's Not Meet. It is titled, Worst Neighbor Ever. And it was submitted over there by the Lil Spooky Girl. Last year, after a blissful first year of living in my new apartment all on my own for the first time, a man moved in next door that I will never forget. The layout of the apartment is crucial. It's crucial to understanding this incident, so I made a little diagram. Let me pull that up and let you guys see the diagram real quick. Oh wait, if it's crucial, I mean shit. Whoops. Shit, I am pressing the wrong shit. There we go. Okay. Here is the picture that they said is crucial. His apartment. His balcony. My balcony. Also my balcony. Damn baller, two balconies up in there? Hell yeah. Now I know the floor plan. I'm gonna break into this place. Oh my god, I can't open this. There we go. Okay. The most important part is that my balcony and his balcony are only partially separated by a wall. There is a solid 2-foot gap in which you can easily walk from one to the other. For context, I previously had a very lovely woman next door for the entire first year I lived there who never crossed this balcony threshold without being explicitly invited. I only throw this in there so you can understand I wasn't previously concerned about someone infiltrating my space. The first time I met this new neighbor, he was unloading groceries from his massive truck into the assigned parking spot next to mine. As I was driving up, he and a girl who I assumed to be his girlfriend were unloading boxes from Costco. I noticed them speaking, and as soon as I was out of the car, they were silent. I nodded to them, proceeded to the elevator, and the guy ran up behind me, threw some boxes down, and begged me to wait. No problem, I'm a good neighbor. While in the elevator, the girl refused to make eye contact or speak to me. A little weird, but I just thought she was shy. But he quickly introduced himself, and it was extremely chatty. In the 45 seconds it takes to get to the floor where our apartments are, he asked me how I liked the place, where I was from, and where I worked. Looking back, his enthusiasm was a little strange, but I chalked it up to him being excited to be in a new space. For the sake of the rest of this story, let's call him Sam. Sam was maybe 33, 6 foot tall with a slim muscular build and had hair buzzed extremely short, as if to mask his balding. Damn, I'm gonna be joining him by the end of this video. Pretty average looking by all accounts. The first few weeks we run into each other often, and he always makes small talk, and always refers to me as Miss. I assume it's because he forgot my name, but wanted to be polite. I almost never see his girlfriend after the first night, but occasionally I hear him talking to a lady in his apartment as the walls are reasonably thin. One night around 3 months after Sam moved in, my boyfriend is spending the night and we're watching movies on the couch. It's maybe 11:30 p.m. The back of my couch is against the wall I share with Sam, and we hear some banging noises. My first thought is that it's him and his boyfriend. Damn, Tiger King. My first thought is that him and his girlfriend must be getting it on. Boyfriend and I laugh and turn the volume up a bit to drown them out. Then, in addition to banging, the neighbors begin screaming. We can hear objects being thrown and glass shattering. The words are muffled, but there's distinctively anger and crying going on. My boyfriend, Jim that he is, steps onto the semi-shared balcony in his loudest voice ever, yells, without crossing into Sam's balcony, "Everything okay over there?" The girl opens the sliding glass door on Sam's side a minute or two later and says something about, "Sorry about that." So we leave it alone. I'm concerned, but we have no idea what was actually happening and decided to go to bed. Big mistake, I know. I wake up at around 3 a.m. to more screaming, but my boyfriend refuses to wake up, and I'm not about to take my 5-foot self to break up whatever's going on at 3 a.m. I considered calling the police, but was so drowsy I convinced myself I dreamed it up. I deeply regret that decision. The next morning I woke up to some terrible personal news, an entirely unrelated death of a friend of mine, and pretty much put the events of the night before on the back burner. I didn't forget, but I also didn't want it on my mind. Fast forward about 2 weeks. It's a warm day and I'm outside reading a book in a robe. Sports bra and shorts. I'm in a chair that faces away from Sam's apartment, so I can't see his side from where I am. I'm deep in my book when suddenly I get tapped on the shoulder. Sam is standing behind me and asks me if he can talk for a second. This man has already crossed an, albeit invisible, line by coming on my side of the balcony. But I also can't get to my door without physically moving him aside, so I ask him what's going on. He told me it was his birthday, and he asked if I knew where to get weed because I seemed like a girl who would know how to have a good time. As we live in a state where weed is legal, I told him I'm sure Google would provide the best dispensary in the area, but I personally didn't have any. He proceeds to tell me how drunk he got last night, and at this point I'm itching for an exit. As I start to move as if to signal I'm done talking, he reaches out for my shoulder and tells me he hit or scratched my car last night because he was driving very, very wasted. Remember his massive truck? He says all of that with a smile on his face, almost laughing. I'm surprised but mostly want to get away from him because my creep senses are starting to tingle and I don't want to blow up at him for hitting my car. He says he'll send me his insurance info and get my number, and thankfully, I knew that would be a bad call. I made a bad nervous joke about knowing where he lived and said if the damage was bad enough, I would knock on his door to get his insurance. He counters by saying he'll leave a note with his info on my door. He retreats from my balcony while also saying he'd prefer to pay me cash and not involve the insurance. I give it an hour or so, and then I head down to assess the damage. I did this because I didn't want to talk to him at the same time and risk having him follow me. Sure enough, there are 2 long new scratches on the driver's door. They're not deep, just kind of superficial, or worthy of a call to insurance immediately. I really just didn't want to get involved with him in any way, so I decided I would deal with the scratches. But this little event had kind of shaken me. A pretty big intro. At this point, I knew something was off about him. Nothing unusual happens as far as I'm aware this night. The next day's Saturday, and as I had to work the next day, I am home alone, watching some action-y movies, and it's around 11 p.m. I'm on the sofa with my cat curled up with me, and the movie is relatively loud, so it takes me a little while to register this banging noise coming from the hallway of my apartment building. I honestly only noticed because my cat had woken up and got all puffed up and freaked out. Oh, kitty cat. I turned down the volume of the film and suddenly the banging is getting louder and louder. As I stand up, I hear the 5 words no one wants to hear coming from the door. "Open up, it's the police!" My stomach dropped to the floor. I had lied to Sam one day before. I totally had weed, and I had smoked a joint outside on the balcony, the part furthest away from Sam's, maybe 20 minutes before. I'm totally panicked, high as a kite, and trying to control my breathing so I don't immediately come off as suspicious before I answer the door. I remember checking the peephole to see a close-up of a cop's face and then opening the door, coming face to face with 6 officers, all with guns drawn. I'm about half a second away from completely pissing my pants in fear, still convinced I was somehow in trouble for smoking a joint. The officer who seemed to be in charge can sense instantly the level of my panic, and he says, "Ma'am, you're not in trouble. We need to speak with you about your neighbor. Can I come in?" At this point, I'm reeling and my body is being tense. I let the cops in, but my heart hasn't moved from my throat. The policeman in charge asked me about any interactions with Sam. I tell them I barely know him, that he just lives next to me, only moved in a few months ago. I asked why they needed to be in my apartment. I'm scared, but also I typically don't go along with cops, and I have the right to know why 6 of them practically waved their guns in my face. The lead officer proceeds to tell me that Sam is a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He apparently beat his girlfriend so badly the night prior that she was now in ICU for her injuries. They also told me that Sam had a gun and had barricaded himself in the apartment next to mine. They said they had spoken to the building manager and knew my place had access to the balcony and they needed to use it. Then they asked me to go into my bedroom and lock the doors and turn off the lights. The next 30 to 45 minutes were absolute hell. In my panic, I had left my cell phone on the kitchen counter and had to sit in my room just listening to the commotion. No Facebook! I added that no Facebook. No shots were ever fired, but there was a lot of yelling and what sounded like things being thrown. Eventually, after what felt like a lifetime, the main officer knocked on my door and told me that Sam had been arrested and thanked me for letting them use my apartment. They asked me questions for maybe 15 minutes and then left. I wish this is where the story ended, but there is a bit more. In the days following Sam's arrest, I became even more panicked about him coming back to the apartment building, worried about retaliation. I hadn't said anything to the police to technically incriminate him. I had proof of nothing except his words that he was the one who scratched my car. But I did tell them about the night my boyfriend and I heard them fighting. About 5 days later, Sam reappeared at the building, and as I was coming home from work one evening, he tried to approach me, but the elevator shut just as he was running to catch it. My whole body got tense, like the feeling when you come this close to getting in a car accident but narrowly avoid it. I stayed off my balcony entirely from this point and always kept the curtains closed. We didn't speak, or really see each other, at all for a few weeks. Then we had our final interaction. Sam stopped me in the parking lot one night, running after me as I was about to get on the elevator. He begged me to tell him why I let the cops in that night. I told him the honest truth, that I was stoned, didn't know what to do, and had a bad history with cops. This is all true, and again I was concerned with him trying to retaliate. He then got pretty upset and kept trying to repeat the question, obviously wanting a different answer. When I couldn't give him one, he then offered me $3,000 to testify as a character witness on his behalf, because I knew him, and I knew how he really treated women. I was speechless and very freaked out. He told me his hearing was next Thursday morning and asked me if I could show up. I was like a deer frozen in headlights for a moment, and then somehow got the hell out of there after mumbling a string of words that were most likely incoherent. The Wednesday night before his trial, I came home from work and my cat was acting kind of weird. Like something had just spooked her and her tail was puffed out. Oh, cute kitty. Kind of shook it off, but I noticed through the curtains there was something taped on the outside of my sliding glass door. Apparently, Sam had posted a note with his phone number and a name, and underneath, "I'm counting on you." Needless to say, I never showed up. I took a photo of the post-it, grabbed my cat, locked all my doors, and stayed at my mom's house for 5 days after that happened. I did phone the police to let them know that he had been on my balcony again, but they never followed up with anything. Eventually, my boyfriend came and we went back to my place together. Everything was how it should have been. I never saw Sam again, but a few weeks later, a lady I had never seen before was cleaning out his apartment. Maybe a month after that, new people moved in and things have been normal ever since. And I'm going to skip that last paragraph because that was a long-ass goddamn story. Oh, yeah, that does sound like a pretty shitty neighbor, for sure. What's up, everybody who's joining the stream? Appreciate you all dropping in. I hope you're all having a wonderful Easter. That was a long story. Holy shit, dude. I did not know it was going to be that long. It is what it is. I was going to be scared because I don't look at my chat when I'm doing that at all. I was going to be like, bro, if I've been muted this whole time reading this story, I'm going to be so upset. I need to click over here. I'm glad my chat's actually working over here. I'm trying to scroll back because I missed a lot of comments. I thought I saw Lord Shower. There it is. What up, Lord Shower? Good to see you, dude. Glad you made it. And, did I see? I don't know if I saw Teddy in here. Teddy, if I saw you in here, what's up, Teddy? Abby, what's up? I think I already said what's up. I know I saw you earlier. But I know I was also distracted, so. Yeah, Cray 420. Yeah, I think that was a lot of hype, but yeah. It is what it is. Everyone finds certain things scary. It was just highly rated. And that was my first time reading it, too. I was like, I'll just read it on stream. Why not? Thank you, Tiffany. Says, I love your channel. Much love. I'm glad you made the stream. I hope you're having a wonderful Easter. Murda asks, Urmaker, what state are you from? I'm from Indiana. I'm originally from Northern California, but I live in Arizona right now. Bradley asks, will I make a 911 calls 7? Yes, and it's already in the works. Yeah, and then I think I got another one that I want to feature for episode number 8. So, trying to get a nice, starting to talk like Mike Tyson. I'm going to try to get a nice system around so I can pump them out a little more consistently, but I do have some plans. So, yeah. And I want to redo episode number 1 because I want to add text for the calls because that was before I added text for the calls and stuff. And I want to add pictures and all that. So, yeah. How old am I? I'm 33. 33. Thank you, Phoenix17. I appreciate that. I'm going to actually take a sip of wine because I had wine I didn't have it. I got wine a couple nights ago, and then I grabbed something else out of the shopping bag, and the bag started falling off the counter, and I forgot wine was in there. I thought it was moving like it was an empty bag, and then it was as soon as it crashed, I was like, oh shit, the wine was in there. So I didn't have wine, and then I had to go get guinea pig vegetables, and I got wine, and I made sure that it was safe. Yes, I am married. I've been married, I think like 5 years now. Been together 7, something like that. Somewhere around there. J Panther, have you ever delved in the dark web? No. Not really. I haven't found a need, so not really been my thing. Sophie says, ooh, I have wine too, but drinking beer at the moment. Yeah, I've been drinking beer the past few days, but like, well, not a few days. A few days ago, I should say. And a few days before that too, but I got this wine, and oh my god, it's amazing. I've never tried it before. It's super cheap. It was like $3, but it tastes like sparkling cider. It's so good. I love it. Favorite video game? My favorite video game all time would be Battlefield 3. Loved that game. They could re-release Battlefield 3 on PlayStation 4 and I would buy it again. Yeah. I was like, I wish I had more weed, to be honest. Yeah, I just went and got a couple ounces today because, yeah, my doctor told me to stock up. He's like, go stock up. I was like, okay, let's do it. Ab is drinking whiskey. Hell yeah. Bay said, are you secretly Philip DeFranco? You sound just like him. That's a new one. I haven't heard that I sound. Usually I'll get like, you sound like Let's Read or something. So I need to start studying. Says, are you quarantined right now? No, we're on like a soft lockdown. We still have a bunch of people going to the lakes and shit like that. Not too many people wearing masks. I wear my fucking heavy duty mask, but I think today was the most I'd seen people wearing masks when I went out. So that's a good sign. But still, it was only like a handful of people. Most people here really don't care. So just how it is out here. Everyone's mad because we're a big tourist town. So we have a lot of people in California that were leaving their quarantine and just coming out here because our lake's still open and shit. So everyone's coming out here and partying and crazy. Alexis says, you don't sound like Philip DeFranco. I wouldn't think so. Hello, you beautiful bastards. There we go. That's my Philip DeFranco impression. Where am I from? I'm originally from Northern California, right on the coast. A little place called Fort Bragg. Not a military base or anything, so. My bubble wrap suit. Man, that shit would be funny as fuck if I had one. Lord of Shower, that would be awesome. Have a nice bubble wrap suit. Thanks again for the laptop, dude. Seriously, I wouldn't be able to do this stream from back in my recording area without it. For some reason, my other one didn't like it. Coronavirus is 5G cover-up. Wake up, everyone. I wouldn't say that, dude. Because I think it's in the Middle East. They have a lot of coronavirus and no 5G. So if there's anything from 5G, I'm sure it's probably separate. Completely different transmission, too. But I'm not a scientist, so I don't know. Ellen says, I've been listening nonstop to your stories for the past 4 days. Aw, appreciate that. Yeah, there's a lot of stories to listen to. That's for sure. Kat says, been sub since the beginning. Love your channel. Much love. I appreciate that. Nintendo Switch? ? No, I've never played Nintendo Switch. Wii was the last one I played. So, yeah. No, I'm not in Cali right now. I live in Arizona, where the London Bridge is. Where that song that's London Bridge is falling down, it's gonna crush your skull, kill everyone. That bridge is here in town. I live in Lake Havasu. What's up, Dollface? Good to see you. I hope you're having a wonderful Easter. Everett, I was just thinking about you yesterday. I was like, God damn, I haven't seen Everett in a while. I wonder how he's doing. Good to see you, dude. I hope you're having a wonderful day. Oh, and Teddy, if you are here, happy late birthday. Suicide, you sound nothing like Philip DeWinko. Trinity, I'm avoiding your question. Yeah, I had a daughter, but I really don't want to get in that right now. You can watch a lot of my other videos and figure out a lot of that out, so sorry. JJL says, the last 2 videos both had heartbreaking stories. Yeah, they did. I'm trying to remember, what are the next stories? Fuck. I listen to so many 911 calls and shit. I don't even remember which ones. I know I have one that's gonna be number 8, and that's a long as fuck one. C Mustard says, how much for you to play one of my scary story live? What's up, C Mustard? I haven't seen you in a while. What, like listen to one of your videos live on stream? I mean, I could probably do that at some point. I don't know. $10,000. No, I'm just really not worried about it. It's no big deal. I'd have to find one that I want to listen to and make sure it's something I can. Yeah. But I appreciate the super chat. You have been around for years, always asking me to collaborate. So I don't know. What's your favorite one that you think is super appropriate, where you think you can shine? Where you think you can shine like a star and everyone's going to be like, oh, I got to go listen to this Mustard Man right now. Let me go with that there and subscribe to that motherfucker. I need to know which one. How can I let him post? Because I have it so links can't share here. Tweet it at me, bro. Tweet it at me, and then I'll pull it up and we can listen to it together. But don't get mad if I'm a dick, because I'm a dick. Naturally. No, I'll be nice to you, because you're not asking for input. You just want it to be heard. Much love, dude. I respect the hustle. You used to message the fuck out of me, dude. And I went and listened to a couple of your stories. I'm like, bro, I don't think we'd collab very well, because your shit's just like complete comedy. It's funny as fuck. But it was just like, I don't think that's going to fit with the shit I do. Talkative Tech says, dude, most of your content is so good. Love the voices. Ah, much love. I appreciate that. Yeah, Mr. J, it's hard. I'm going to do also a compilation of the ones I thought were the craziest, because I feel like a couple of my videos got throttled because they're not advertiser friendly, so I already know they got throttled, but there was some stories that are fucking nuts. Oh, that's gonna be one. I don't know if you guys remember in episode number 1, there was a lady who had really bad mental issues, tried to get herself looked at and all that, and ended up decapitating her kid, and like it was pretty much like the health system that let her down. And there's another story that's gonna be similar to that that'll be in the next video. So that's going to be one of them, that's right. Or is that going to be the one after? I don't remember. But that's going to be in one in the next couple of them. It's crazy. Man, the world, it's so sad that there's just like so many calls. I tried looking up 999 calls, but yeah, that didn't work. I'm going to span this over here in case. Forgot they still have that other stream going, so I want to go over there and occasionally put the link so people will know what's up. 30 minutes already. I know that story that I read was like 17 minutes long. I did not expect it to be that long. That's crazy. I got done, I was like, God damn, I've been streaming 20 minutes already? I was planning on the stream being like an hour, and we still are going to listen to a chapter of the audiobook that I narrated a few years ago. We're going to listen to that. And that's pretty much going to be about the point when I tell the kids to leave, because that's a very fucking detailed video about sex. Well, not necessarily, but it's just like a weird sex scene. Yeah. I don't know if it's quite rape. I think it's rape because she says no. But like, yeah. The Eden does the female part, so it's just like, for me, it's even funnier type of thing. I don't know. It was, you guys, once you hear it, you're gonna be like, how did he say all that shit with a straight face? My cock was hard, so I started rubbing it through my jeans. Like, just random shit like that. Like, it was funny as fuck. Ava says, how many parts of 911 calls are you going to do? I have no idea. We're just going to kind of see how it goes. I want to start another series here soon. Something similar, but different at the same time. So I don't want to give my advice out because people are going to start jacking my shit. So I prefer to try to get the first ones out. I like that I was able to get a lot of the first 911 videos out before people got into that genre. So I don't want to give out my clue of my next one I'm doing. I want to be first into that as well. So, yeah. 999 is 911 for other places. Like, not everywhere has 911. It's just a different number. 999 makes a lot of sense because you're just pressing the same number 3 times. So it'll probably be a little easier, but... Sorry, I thought you were done with that part of your life, dude. Relapse. Patience is like, how do you kick the kids off? Well, I just tell them to leave. And then after that, that's on them. Holy crap, Zahi. Hello, please don't spam, my friend. I see you. Omar says, how long do you plan on doing YouTube for? Dude, I don't know. I would barely even thought I'd be doing it this long. I still want to try to dabble in, getting more audiobook roles and shit like that. So, who knows? YouTube's demonetized both of my channels at one point. So, I mean, that could have pretty much, I would have still done it as a hobby. I've done YouTube since 2008, bro. I've been around. My videos only show for a few years, but I have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of videos that are unlisted. So, and not all stories. I started doing gaming. That was the first things I did on my channel. So, quick, what's the number for 911? What's good, Martez? Shit, hit my microphone. See Mustard, you got a video? I don't see it on Twitter, man. Guess you don't got one, dude. I was gonna hook you up. We were gonna listen to you. Any interest in stuff like Demiurge or the occult? I don't know what Demiurge is. I have no idea. I'm always interested in cult shit. Hell yeah. Mrs. Smurf says, is there any way to get MP3s or something to listen to without YouTube? I have a patron perk where it's $5. That gets you a lot, like 24 hours of unlisted content. That's all MP3 files. But I should update that with all like MP3 of all my recent stories too. It's a good idea. Yeah, for all my patrons that have the $5, that's one of the perks is they have like over 24 hours of unlisted stories. Like I said, I have hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of videos unlisted. So, yeah. Alexa says, I'd love to hear you read me a book. I tweeted at Stephen King, too. I was like, hey, any chance I can get permission to narrate a couple chapters of any book? And I'll delete the stream, but I never got an answer, so. Sad days, sad days. I have a whole bunch of Stephen King behind me, but I can't read them. Well, I mean, I can, but not legally.
I'm on meth.
I'm on meth.
I'm on it too.
So am I.
So am I.
I'm on meth.
Meth is not someone else's problem. It's everyone in South Dakota's problem. And we need everyone to get on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it.
I'm on it too.
Sophie says, beautifully. Pretty sure he has videos with his face. Oh yeah, I have a lot of videos with my face. In fact, my face will be on the screen here probably by the end of the stream. Favorite food? Seafood. Just like whatever. Shove it in my fucking face. Shrimp, salmon, crab. Oh boy, crab boy. Yeah. Noodle J's like, to be honest, I thought that was an ad. Exactly. It was some campaign that they did a while ago. I thought that shit was fucking hilarious, so I downloaded it. And every now and then I just put it just because it's supposed to be anti-meth, but it looks like they're trying to be like, everyone get on meth. Yeah, no, that was supposed to be like them raising awareness to get off of meth. But it looks like they're trying to get everyone on meth. I just thought, I think it's hilarious. Patience says, are you interested in doing creepypasta stories or SCP horror stories? I've only been here a bit, so I don't know if you already have or not. I used to do a lot of creepypastas and stuff, but they really didn't do too well, and I also had another channel for it, but YouTube kind of jacked that channel up, so yeah. That channel's got like, I think 50,000 subscribers, and I don't think I've posted on there in like years. I have a few channels. What's up, Austin Henshaw? I see you, dude. Lord of Shower says, Urmaker, you should let me do my Vincent Price for your show. Your Vincent Price? What, an impersonation? Honestly, I don't even know who that is. I've heard that name, but I just cannot put it in my head right now. Omar was like, I thought I switched to a different video by mistake. Yeah, I hadn't put that in. I used to put that like in all of my streams as soon as I found it because it's hilarious. So why is it actually called pasta? I don't know. I started calling them scary noodles. Why not? How many channels? I have like 3. This one, and then my other one, and then my other one. Yeah. I have a gaming channel. My dumbass gaming channel has the first video I've ever had to reach 1 million views. And it was some stupid 15-second Fortnite clip. Just random stupidness. And that video, right now, is up to like 3 million views, I think. It was my first ever video to hit 1 million views. And then I have another stupid-ass Fortnite clip over there. This is like the same exact thing, but just with a different weapon. And that's got 1.2 million views. I went and looked at that the other day. And then I have a couple other ones that actually took a little bit of effort that have some views. But yeah, all the videos I put no effort in are the ones that are like killing it. That channel's got like 5 million views, but only like 5,000 subs. Because I wanted to grow it without promoting it over here, so yeah. Yeah, it was a kind of weird story for sure, dude. It was like Dance in the Dark kind of weird story, but perfect narration. Hope to see some similar content. Yeah, definitely a weird story. Very, very interesting. Okay. Oh, and my gaming channel, that one's like Rainbow Rocket. You're barely going to be able to find that one. And then my other channel, there's no point in saying that one. I can't even post there if I wanted to post there anyway, so. Bradley, Fortnite is actually a different word than the word night, bro. Fortnite is a time. It's like an amount of time. It's like in the old days they used to say, oh, I'll be there in a fortnight type of thing. Different than fort and at night type of thing, so yeah. What's up, Shells? Good to see you. Appreciate that Snappa Ninja. Or Snapped Ninja. Snappa Ninja. You gonna snap that there on Ninja, boy. Okay, so I think what we'll do is like, if you got little ones listening, maybe just like leave for like, I don't know, 16 minutes or so. I think 16 minutes. If you don't want to hear me talk about my cock a whole bunch, then leave for like 16 minutes. Because we're about to listen to one chapter out of a book that I was hired to narrate a few years ago. called Dance in the Dark. And it's an erotic horror. And yeah. Oh, hold on. Before we get into that, here we go. We got C Mustard. He picked a story. All right, we're going to listen to C Mustard's, and then we're going to get into it. So after this story, I'll put another warning to have people leave, and we'll do that. All right, man. Let's listen to your story. I'm interested in this too. So this is another smaller YouTube. I can't get my headphones on. He's been messaging me for a long time, trying to get me to work with him. But he does videos, and he's got a YouTube video that he would like us to listen to. So we'll listen to this together and see what the hell it's about. But it's True Scary Stories, Tekashi 6ix9ine. This is gonna be so fucking stupid. Witch Doctor, thank you so much, says Fork Knight. Much love, dude. C Mustard, thanks again, dude. Said, okay, man, I tweeted you 2 options and good advice about the little ones. Feel free to talk crap. LOL. Okay, cool. Yeah, I figured you had a sense of humor. So we'll listen to C Mustard's thing first, and then we'll get into that adult content. I don't know if this is going to be his. I don't think his is. I think his is just all funny. So, yeah. All right, so if you guys enjoy this, C Mustard is the channel. We're going to go ahead and play this. Let me make sure I got my settings right to do this. Some num sugar buns.
Usually Thanksgiving was my favorite time of the year. However, since I was currently doing a stint in jail, I was quite depressed. That is until I unexpectedly got a new cellmate. It was early Thursday morning when I was awoken by a guard. Henry, get your black ass up. I opened my eyes and blinked 3 or 4 times, and got up from my bunk. Can't a nigga sleep? I said while looking at what time it was. A nigga can shut the hell up, the guard replied. He then informed me I would be getting a new cellmate. Apparently he was some sort of celebrity, and his name was Tekashi 6ix9ine. He was set to arrive at around 10:30, and I was quite curious what he was famous for. I imagined him to be some sort of ninja of Asian descent, or perhaps a chef. My thoughts continued until he finally arrived. At 10:30 exactly, a rainbow-haired man with tattoos all over his face entered my cell. "What's hood, nigga?" he said. Confused and not understanding what that meant, I said, huh. You know, like how's it going? Well, about as good as jail can go, I said. Cool, the rainbow-haired man replied. So what's to eat in this joint? They gotta have a McDonald's or something, right? Assuming he was joking, I began to laugh. He stared at me confused and said no seriously. I again laughed. You know what, Tekashi? I like you. I think we're gonna be great friends. We continued to small talk until the cell doors opened for recreational time. 12:30 already? Hell yeah. Do you play basketball? I asked Tekashi 6ix9ine. Not only do I play, but I can slam dunk. We then hit the court and filled in 2 open spots on Big Rhonda's team. And shortly after, Tekashi proved he wasn't lying. This nigga was slam dunking left and right. Not only that, but this nigga hit threes like Steph Curry. And his ball handles were like Kyrie Irving on crack.
I think listening to that online is making everyone lag. I see a whole bunch of people buffering and shit. What in the fuck? Well, that's a good preview, dude. I think that's a good preview. I'll link people to that video if anyone wants to go finish that or whatever. But I saw a lot of people saying they're buffering, so shit, why can I not post? Sign into chat. What is that? Oh shit. Well, I can't share it right here. That's sad. But that yeah, go subscribe to See Mustard if you want to hear the rest. You could look up True Scary Stories Takashi 69. If it wasn't lagging, we would let it play a little longer. Sorry, dude. Oh man. But there you go. People got to hear you, and it seems like a lot of people were enjoying the humor of it. So some people, not so much. I don't really know what to say. It's hard to judge something like that because it's just a complete joke. So I mean, what else do you really even say? Happy Easter, Allison. I think it was buffering so much because I was watching that video online. So I was watching it on YouTube as I'm streaming and doing all my other stuff. So, yeah. Did it get better? I don't know if people are on a delay. Has the buffering at least fixed? I don't know, actually. We'll see. Hopefully it gets better buffering. I'm trying to make sure. Because I'm hoping that the actual chapter of the audiobook won't buffer. Not buffering for Gothic. Yeah, that was why when you kept asking me, like, harassing the shit out of me, you're like, collab with me, and people would love it. I don't think that's like two different genres, dude. You can't just put True Scary Stories in that bitch and be like, these are True Scary Stories. You know what I mean? Still funny in its own genre, but yeah. Funny as fuck. Sandra D's like, I'm gonna watch that later. You got them sugar buns. Let me get some num sugar buns. Appreciate you, C Master. Yeah, no problem, dude. Yeah, if any of you want to listen to the rest of that, make sure you go check out C Mustard. He's been doing videos for a while, so he seems pretty passionate about it, so yeah. Yeah, the whole point of his channel, Shells, is just like comedy. Yeah. What's up, the Shadow General? Good to see you, dude. Much better. Damn, you guys are on a bit of a delay, too. I'm just getting answers now. Buffering stopped. Okay. So I'm hoping when it does the chapter out of my book that there's no buffering there, because I have that downloaded. That's on my hard drive, so that should make it a bit easier. What's up, Lewis? Hope you're doing well out in Vegas over there. Okay, so now we'll have it where we're going to listen to that chapter out of the book that I did. And we will, yeah. If you got little ones, just leave the stream for like 16 minutes or so. I think this is like 15 minutes long, a little over. One chapter, I think there was like 11 or 14 chapters. I know the total runtime for the entire novel that I did, or novella, whatever the fuck it is, was 3 hours and like 5 minutes. But this is just going to be one chapter, so yeah. Maybe the buffering was on meth too. I figure that one was probably because it being a visual too. I'm not sure. But I'm also sitting really far from my router, so the fact that I'm even able to stream right here without the lag is super cool. So yeah. Oh, thanks, Thomas Fries says sugar buns. I got that stuck in my head. Much love, dude. Let me get some num sugar buns. Let me get some num sugar buns. Lord Shower says, you're thinking about taking a laptop back because of that? Because of what, dude? What did I say? I don't know. There's so much of a lag. Like, just the natural stream. I think it's like 30 to 40 seconds. I don't know. What the hell? Oh, because of the story. Oh, okay. I'm assuming that's what it is. Yeah. I could kind of see that and be like, you betrayed me. Jen, thank you so much. Says, happy spring. Stay well. Much love. I hope you're having a wonderful Easter, and I hope you stay safe out there. Appreciate it. Number 15, Burger King Footlace. You got them sugar buns. JJL, how to donate. You can donate. There's links in the chat on how to do it. You can, or there's like a money symbol or some shit. I'm not sure. But I know the description says. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get into this adult-themed story. Seriously, if you have people around, you're not going to want to listen to this in front of them. This was a book. When I got done, my mom was like, hey, I'm going to buy it and listen to it. And I was like, no, you don't, Mom. Not this one. Just sit out. Ignore this one. It never happened. I mean, the genre is her type of genre, but me being the one reading it, like when I was a kid, she used to read this kind of shit all the time. This is like her genre. So I thought it was funny as hell that I grow up to actually narrate a book that's in that genre that I thought was awkward as hell when I was a teenager. So, yeah. So this one, hopefully there's really no lag. I'm going to hope for the best. I'm probably turn off the background visuals too, just to keep everything easier. We'll do that, and then hope for the best. Okay. So this is gonna get crazy, everybody. So like, yeah. It's very cringe, and you will not believe how hard a lot of this was to record with a straight face, as you will hear. And yeah, this will be fun. This is a chapter from the book I narrated, Dance in the Dark, by Chris Allen and Melody Ann. Chapter 9. Janice stood at the sink just as Taylor had so many years earlier. I'd been watching her house for some time, waiting for her to be in this place. This exact scenario was significant. I'd needed to reenact this scene for quite some time. The right woman hadn't come along until Janice. She had the same hair color, the same eyes, even the same body. She was a few years older than me, just as Taylor had been. Even though Taylor was no longer a factor, she had been significant in shaping me into who I was today, and I felt a strong stirring for her all these years later, just as I now did for Janice. I couldn't tell you what that was, but it was better than feeling empty. I had to appreciate both women for giving me such a gift. Janice's hands were sunk deep into the water of her sink as she gazed out her front window. I wondered what she was thinking about. I couldn't see her expression, which I didn't care for, but I could see the tenseness in her shoulders as she repeatedly washed the same plate while staring out at the setting sun. My cock stirred as I reached down and squeezed it through my jeans. I could strip and quietly walk over to her, rip off her clothes and fuck her into submission. I could do that with anyone. But this moment was more than that. This moment was about seduction. I needed her to want me. That was very important to this scenario, this fantasy. Surprisingly, some shitty country music played in the background. I would have thought Janice was more cultured than that. Maybe listening to opera or some other crap supposed to stimulate the brain. For me, music was different. I didn't need a radio because I created my own harmony with the cries of my victims. It didn't get more sophisticated than that. I moved forward and took hold of her hips, enjoying the gasp as she dropped the plate she was holding, and the water splashing up the front of her, soaking her light blue blouse, and giving me an appealing view over her shoulders as her breasts heaved. Her voice was cut off as I said hello. She tried turning around, but my hands held her tightly as I pressed against her ass. She was stiff for only a moment before I felt a tremor race through her. She was well aware it was me behind her. Knowing this broke her medical rules and knowing it was wrong, I still knew she wouldn't fight what she was feeling. That made it much better for both of us. "I told you I was coming over," I said, making sure my hot breath washed across her ear before I let my tongue trace the curve of it.
"I told you not to,"
Janice said, making me chuckle as I wrapped my hand around the front of her, gripping her just beneath her breast while I pressed hard against her, trapping her body between the sink and myself. This made her tremors grow even more apparent.
"I don't want you at my place. It's wrong on so many levels I don't even know where to begin."
I was quiet as I waited for her to take a breath and finish. She shook as I pressed against her soft ass.
"I want you to leave,"
she said, her voice quiet and husky. I laughed. Liar. I had no problem calling her out. My hands moved, my thumbs pressing against the underside of her breasts, making her breathing erratic and her heart thunder. I could feel her coming undone, and almost wished she'd fight it just a little.
"You have to stop, Adam. It's not appropriate,"
she said. Her words would be a lot more convincing if she wasn't breathless and her body wasn't melting against mine. Neither of us can stop this, I told her. I needed to taste her, so I leaned down and swept my tongue along the back of her neck before sinking my teeth into her flesh, with just enough pressure to make her more than aware of my presence. She shook even more, and I pressed harder into her, most likely keeping her on her feet instead of melting into a puddle on the kitchen floor. I wasn't humble about my effect on women, particularly this woman, especially right here, right now.
"Adam, we talked about this,"
she said. It was a valiant effort to keep her integrity in place. Too bad it wouldn't work, and I loved how much it turned me on. I slipped my hands over her breasts and squeezed the sensitive flesh, causing a moan to escape her parted lips. Her nipples hardened beneath my touch, and I pinched them even harder, making her moan louder as I twisted and pulled.
"My friend is coming over and could walk in at any time,"
she said, but she wasn't fighting me as she leaned her head back, opening herself more fully to me. I looked out the window as the day faded, dusk taking its place. A couple walked past on the sidewalk, and that only amplified my desire. I silently begged them to look up, to see what was going on barely 20 feet from them. But they passed on by, oblivious to anything around them. Pathetic. Truly pathetic. I hope she does, I told Janice, and felt her stiffen. She can watch and learn how a woman should be pleasured. Or she can join us and you can have two people fucking and licking you all over.
"I would never,"
Janice said, mortification now mixed with desire. Oh, you would, and you'd scream, I assured her. It's amazing what a person will do when their desire is at its peak. There are no boundaries because all you can think about is sweet relief, and you'll take it any way you can. I twisted her nipples hard as I said this, and then flipped her around and ripped her soaking shirt off of her. She gasped as her blue eyes shone, desire and confusion mixing in them. I didn't give her time to think as I bent down and sucked one perfectly pebbled nipple into my mouth and bit down hard, giving her a mixture of pleasure and pain. She cried out as she spread her thighs and grabbed the back of my head, tugging my hair, holding me in place over her full breasts. I would let her have control for a few seconds, and then I'd show her exactly how this night was going to finish. I ran my fingers down her thighs before moving them back up and slipping them beneath the material of her dress and lace panties, feeling how hot and wet she truly was. She might be trying to fight this, but she couldn't hide her body's response to what I was doing. I tugged my fingers from her slickness and ran them up her stomach, cupping her breasts again and feeling her completely let go. There was no more protest. I had almost wanted the struggle to go on a little longer. But then again, I was hard and needed to fuck, so maybe next time it could be a little rougher. Maybe I'd have to punish her much sooner than I'd been anticipating for what she was making me think and feel, for the loss of control. Do you feel that, Janice? Do you feel how hungry you are? I was losing patience as I tugged off the rest of her clothes. I loved how a woman looked when she was the most vulnerable, when there was nothing to hide the flush of her skin, the pulse of her heart, or the heat of her arousal. This moment was what made sex so fascinating to me. I thrived on the power and control of it all. I spun Janice around again and lifted her hands, dipping them into the cooling water of the sink as I pressed against her naked ass. Water splashed over the front of her as I shoved against her. I ran my fingers across her wet torso and over her breasts, loving how slick she was. My fingers circled her neck and squeezed. I could fuck her while ending her life. I thought about it for a moment, but now wasn't the time. I wasn't ready to let this woman go. Besides that, the scenario with my father and his whore hadn't happened that way. This fantasy had to be played out identically, or as close as possible. I was almost to the point of losing control and forgetting why I was here with Janice.
For those that are just coming in, I'm going to take a break. There's still a bit more of that chapter. But yeah, this is definitely not something for the little ones to listen to. This is a chapter out of a book I narrated a few years ago, an erotic horror called Dance in the Dark. So yeah, let's get back into it. That's what you're hearing.
With that thought, I reached up and pushed on her upper back, making her bend forward, making her ass stick high in the air, now lining up perfectly with my cock. I quickly shedded my own clothes, pulling free so I could slide my slick head down her crack, pausing at her wet entrance. She cried out when I didn't immediately plunge inside her, and I smiled as I looked out the window and saw a couple of teenage boys riding by on a bike. One of them glanced at her window and turned away before his head whipped back around, his eyes wide as he took in her breasts swaying above the water, her nipples hard and wet, her mouth open in an O of pleasure. He crashed into a telephone pole and knocked himself out, blood trickling from his head as his friend rushed to his side, not knowing what had just happened. Now! I slammed inside her and she screamed. She was hot and tight and I couldn't stop a groan from escaping my throat. The sound was foreign to me. I enjoyed pleasure, but I rarely lost control enough to allow sound to release. This made me angry and I thrust in and out of her faster and harder with each push, surely bruising her stomach and hips where they hit the counter in front of her. The sink water splashed over both of us, and still I fucked her harder, the floor growing slick, our bodies coated in water, soap, and sweat. I grabbed her hair and held on tight, tugging her head back and bending her so I could bite her neck, leaving my mark on her. She loved it, screaming louder with each connection of our bodies. I moved faster and harder, holding tightly to her hips as water splashed over the front of her. With a scream, she tightened around me, locking us together as pleasure flooded her system, wetting her and sending me over the edge as I pushed hard, exploding within her. I didn't like how much I shook as I leaned against her, surprisingly unwilling to pull from her tight body. I can't remember that happening before. Maybe it was this moment, this fantasy I had had for a very long time. Whatever it was, I knew I needed to break this thing between us. I stepped back and refused to think of it as a departure or loss. She was trembling as she faced the sink, water dripping from her flushed body. The sun had disappeared and the kitchen was dim, but every curve of her body was on display, and I felt the slightest of twitches as I realized I wouldn't mind going for a second round. There was no way I'd allow that for her or myself. She turned and I refused to look down at her full breasts or tight stomach. I focused on her eyes. This was the part I'd been waiting for anyway. This was what I'd truly wanted to see. It only took a few tense moments, and then I watched as shame entered her expression. I smiled. There was no way for her to take that moment back. A tremble overtook her frame before she grabbed a towel sitting on the counter and tried to cover herself. Maybe it was because her legs were shaking, but she didn't attempt to run quite yet. I looked at her and tried to decide what would come next. I wasn't sure. I stepped back and leaned against the kitchen island, not at all uncomfortable in my own nudity. My body was muscled and well cared for. I noticed how she'd tried not to let her gaze wander over me. She wasn't too good at hiding her feelings, her emotions. That was a skill she'd certainly need to improve if she planned on staying in this profession. If I decided to let her live. That was unexpected, I told her, not giving away anything I was thinking.
Adam.
She stopped. Obviously, she didn't know what to say. You know you don't want to talk of regrets, I told her. Even if she tried to say that night had been a mistake, I had felt her fall apart in my arms. She couldn't take that back. Moving forward, I stood within an inch of her and waited to see her reaction. She tensed up as she held up a hand, then took several steps away from me. I allowed her to do that.
Don't touch me,
she said, her tone pleading. She and I both knew if I were to touch her, she'd ignite again, and we'd try it on her kitchen table. There was desperation in her voice, and that turned me on all over again, my dick instantly hard. We've already done it. What does it matter now? I asked, more curious than anything. Human emotions fascinated me. I truly wanted to dive into some people's brains and know exactly how they worked, and how they came about decisions they seemed to think were right.
Because this shouldn't have happened,
she told me. We can't turn the clocks back now, I said. I found myself growing agitated. I really didn't know why. It didn't matter to me if she had regrets. That normally made it all that much better.
Please leave.
I thought about ignoring her, showing her the consequences of trying to put me in my place, or telling me no. But one of the more appealing things about this woman was that she didn't cower to me. Of course, she truly had no idea of who I was when I wasn't giving her a show. But she wasn't a stupid woman. She had to know there was a darkness about me that wasn't explainable. She was either choosing to ignore that, or it excited her. I think it was much more of the latter, which made me smile. Turning away from her, I gathered my discarded clothes, noting they were wet, making them more difficult to put on. I heard Janice's feet as she scurried from the room. I allowed her to go. As I walked from her house, I knew the connection between us was even greater now. I had never chosen someone I didn't feel was right for me, but in her case, it went beyond that. She'd been what I needed. She'd most certainly been the one. Now I just had to figure out what would come next in our story. Yeah, there you go. So that is a chapter out of an audiobook I did. I'm going to share a couple of the links in the chat. It's from there if you want to get it. You can get it on Audible, and you can actually not pay for it. If you've never had Audible before, then you can sign up for their free trial, and then get the book, and then delete your credit card info, and never get the trial. That's what I did. Well, I also had the original files too, but yeah. So that's what that was for those of you coming in like, what the hell is this? Yeah, that's what that was. The woman is Eden Studios, if you look for her on YouTube. Thank you, Loza, says Happy Easter, everyone. Yes, Happy Easter to everyone. There's a nice Easter story. Wow, Easter surprise. There you go. That works better. No, that was from a book, Kyle, that I narrated back in 2017, I think it was. So it was just something we haven't listened to that chapter on stream. I figured it'd be a nice treat. I did have permission to listen to it as long as it's something that's not going to ruin the story, which I don't think that ruins the whole storyline because there is a storyline behind it, but it gives you a little peek. It was very interesting, you know? Yeah. A lot of recording. And then re-recording because I was laughing. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's called Dance in the Dark. I'll share a couple more links for people. That's the link I'm sharing. It'll link right to the book. You just got to make sure you get the correct one that is actually narrated by me, because there's another Dance in the Dark, but it's not from me. But yeah, you can get it for free if you sign up for the trial. Get the book. Make sure you delete your card info and cancel your trial so you don't get charged. And there you go. That's how you beat the system right there. Unless you have Audible, and then you can get it for free, because I think you get a book free every month or something. So, yeah. Yeah, that's definitely a very, very interesting story. Jin says, supernatural erotica is so dumb to me. Just my opinion. That was hilarious. It's not my particular genre, but I mean, there's a lot of people that are into that, so. I know even the author, Melody Ann, the New York Times bestseller, she got hit on by her fans because they're straight up about the sex. Like, they didn't like the dark twists of the whole thing, So they read it only for the sex scene. So there's like a huge genre just in that. So, yeah. Very interesting. Thank you, Shells, saying to support your maker's pickle juice habit, you can donate, and shares a link. That's so true. I'm only down to a quarter bottle of my pickle juice that I have in my refrigerator, and I'm not even joking. And there's only like 2 little dill slabs in there. I'm saving those for a rainy day, so I can actually crunch a little dill. You know what I'm saying? JJL, thank you, by the way. And Camilla, I really appreciate you guys. I see those super chats I might have missed when the story was going. My bad. So, I'm trying to move. Shit. So, where you guys are at, I know a lot of people are in different areas and whatnot. Is all your barber shops and all that shit closed? Luyoka is like, yo, I'd pay for the bloopers. Oh, man. Yeah, I don't know if I still have those. I have a whole file. But I was wondering if, I don't even, it's not my book. I don't own the rights. I was just hired to do it. But I did have permission that I could listen to some of it on stream, help promote it type of thing. So, well, they told me that a couple years ago. I just never did it. So, yeah. But I noticed here in town recently, we just started getting to the point where we're closing things. Take care, Loza. I hope you have a wonderful night. I'm about to give myself a haircut, too. Because I'm a pro, you know what I'm saying? All the areas are closed, So I was just thinking, I just got to look at myself on the screen right here. And we're going to snip this shit, I can't even see it, but there we go. Got a little bit of hair. You got them sugar buns. It's like with everything closing. Some numb sugar buns. Look at my hair. It's already, man, it's so weird looking at it backwards like this. You know what I'm saying? Just like, I can't tell which way I'm going. I should definitely be a barber. Okay, I'll just pull it out that way. It's so weird looking at myself while I'm trying to do it. Does that look level? I can't tell which way is which. There we go. Part of it? Hell yeah. Yeah, they closed our barber shops too, you know what I'm saying? But fortunately, if I can, I wonder if there's a way I could just like flip my camera so that way I'm looking at it the right way. This is like backwards, so it's like looking at it weird. It's not like looking in a mirror. If I had a mirror right here, make this shit a lot easier. You know what I'm saying? Grab it like this and just start snipping and hope for the best. Look at how thin my hair is up here, guys. I'm getting old as shit. I'm showing you guys. What's up, Spooky Skeleton? Good to see you, dude. Oh, look at that. I'm getting some leeway. This is going to be probably one of my last good haircuts because I'm going bald up top. And then, as you can see, it's all like straggly up here. So it's just like, I'm going to get hair all over my mic and shit, you know what I mean? Oh, I need to move my headphones. I'm going to get that all out. Look at that. I'm a barber by trade. YouTuber by day. What's up, Miranda? I hope you in Australia are doing well. I'm getting hair all over me. I want to move this up so I don't get it in my microphone. Face reveal? Nah, man, I've been on stream a whole bunch. If you catch my streams, it's so weird looking at myself trying to do that. Yeah, does that look level? But like, I have no hair up here either. Like, this is the hair I like to grow out, because then at least I can cover and make it look like I have hair. But it's hard as fuck to see and do this on here, you know what I mean? Yeah, I got these little ones because the other ones are my kitchen scissors, and I don't want to use those. So I'm just using these little baby ones. Besides, right? That should work a little better, you know? Oh man, that feels good right there. That's what's up. So stupid. You know, there's people that can actually cut their own hair and shit, which I thought's pretty crazy. So, I mean, you can't learn something unless you try it, right? And quarantine's the best time when you're in lockdown, because who the hell's around? Unless you're sitting on a camera and there's a whole bunch of people watching you. Like, it really doesn't matter if your hair's messed up, you know? Because you should be ordering your deliveries and all that shit. You can literally just shave it. I probably could. This bad buzzer. We could just like, I don't know how short this is. I've never used this thing. My wife got it, and I've never used it. I usually go get my hair cut. I guess we'll see how short it is. If it even cuts. It doesn't even sound like it's cutting. Oh, it's cutting. Shit. It's cutting real good. There we go. Good call. Much easier. You ever felt like just pulling a Britney Spears and just fucking shaving your head? Oh boy. And now I'm done. See, I might as well just see what it's gonna look like, because I'm already going bald. So if I just go with it, it won't be bad. Thank you, Lord of Shower. I think it's coming out pretty well too. I did go to school for a couple years for this. Dude, there's fucking hair everywhere. Oh my god. This shit was so long. I don't even know what size this is. It looks pretty short. Oh, that's actually really not bad. I don't know if I'll have enough battery to do my whole head. But we shall see. I forgot to put the towel over myself. Bro. It's been so long. I've never buzzed my hair before. I've always just gone to a barber. But seriously, I figured, well, I'm locked in a house. So, that looks fucking hilarious, dude. Oh my god, that's how I'm gonna look here soon. My hair, see my hairline, dude? Fucking all the way up here. And I'm balding up here too. I'm gonna look like this here soon if I don't shave my head. So it's like, you just gotta own the baldness. Dude, I straight up feel like Britney Spears. Oh. People coming in the stream right now are gonna be like, huh, very interesting. People that have been in the stream already are gonna be like, huh, very interesting. And there's a lot of hair too. I hate the feeling of hair on your skin too. That's why I can't believe I didn't put a towel or something on me. Yeah, Dan, that's when... But they were painful in Army. That's where they did mine too. And they were painful, dude. Painful and fast. They just grab that shit, just dig it through your head. Oh my god. I really should have a mirror here. It's not the easiest to do this through a fucking camera. Looks great. Thank you. It's a work in progress. This is how you do your part during the quarantine. You don't need to go out and pay to have your hair done. Fuck no. Just get a little tiny thingy that gives you, I don't fucking know, not much hair. But, please don't leave the sides. No, it's all gonna go, man. I don't think I'm gonna be able to finish all this on stream, because I'm gonna have to go get in the mirror, because this shit's crazy. Everything's backwards, it looks like. Will I grow a beard? I've debated on that. I wish I could, but I grow it really patchy. So I'm thinking if I actually trim it, keep it short, it'll actually fill out more and maybe look better. So possibly? Thoughts on beards? Some people can pull them off. Just keep it nice, clean. I think that's alright. You look badass already. Oh yeah. Look like a cancer patient. I've always looked sickly, scrawny my whole life. So you add in a bald head? I thought I always looked like a walking penis, like in basic and shit. You can go to Bossley's hair treatment for hair loss. Nah. When it's your time to lose your hair, it's your time to lose your hair. My sisters think it's hilarious because I was the type in school I would sit in the bathroom longer than them and do my hair. So they think it's awesome that I'm going bald. Like when I was a kid, I used to wear a hat all the time. And then they said hats make you go bald, so I stopped wearing a hat. And I still went bald. So that's some bullshit. And Dan's like, yep, army cut takes about 10 seconds. Yep, and they still charge you full price just on that stupid fucking armed forces card. Getting there. Do I mind showing it to you? What? Showing what? Bro, I can't even see. Now he looks just like the skull that that's why I had it up there as a nice comparison. Because that's an actual photo of me. I just tinted it red. I don't think that's like cutting more. Dollface says, I hate beards. I hate how itchy they are. Like even when I get a little scruffy. I had to shave the other day because I was going out. So I had to wear a mask. So you gotta make sure you're fucking shaved. But fucking hair everywhere, dude. Damn, I thought that was going to be a lot shorter, honestly. That's really not that bad. It just looks really bad because I have no hair. And then I'll just trim the sides up and shit. This is exactly how you do it. Yeah, this is why this stream's not going to be available later. This and actually that book we listened to. God, I'm covered in hair. It's mind-numbing how long I let my hair get. Oh, and Dr. Blue, a subscriber, got me this shirt as well that's not covered in fucking hair. For the homies, pouring milk out, you know what I mean? Ugh, I'm so itchy. I don't know. See, I also don't like the look of... Let me turn that off for a second. I don't like the look of, when my hair starts getting all scraggly and shit, and it looks like I'm just trying to cover the bald spots, when it's really not. I just don't want it to look weird, you know? I don't know. Doesn't look too bad. I'll go do it up a little later. Damn. For no mirror, that's not too bad. Yeah. Oh, show us tattoo. Oh. There's one. Block the light so you can see a little. There. And then the first one I got was when I was 17. That one's that one. That. That one's got like blue and stuff. I only wanted black and red on my arms. I don't want any other colors, but on my chest or hidden areas I didn't mind, so. I got hair everywhere. And it itches. Better get a vacuum cleaner. Yeah, I actually moved my carpet. I planned on doing this, guys. Like, this was all part of the plan. It wasn't just like I fucking went stupid. I told my wife I need a haircut. All the haircut places are fucking closed. I figured, you know what? I think it'd be fun and distracting with everything going on, stuck at home, to just shave my head on stream, so why not? Full body shave next. Oh my god, we had someone in the military do that. Like, straight up razor shaved his entire body. He broke out completely with razor burn. It was mind-numbing. Dr. Blue on Discovery Channel? No, Dr. Blue from the channel. I don't know. You'll probably maybe watch this later. I'm not sure. But yeah, I think we'll
Going in the stream there. I'm covered in hair. Got a nice little fucking haircut on stream. That's what I call fucking knocking out two birds with one stone. I'm surprised it actually... I might even go a little shorter after the stream. I got another adapter that's shorter. I started with the longer one. Because you can always go shorter, but you can never go more. So, yeah. I think it turned out good. Now I gotta clean my fucking pop filter. The peak is past, but now we're steady instead of keeping to go down numbers. That ain't good. Yeah, we're just gonna have to pretty much ride this whole thing out. Everyone do their part, taking it seriously, social distancing, all that shit. So, yeah. Yeah, I think